Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. With the recent release of the Epstein file, we have now come to a conclusion that there is something seriously wrong with society. And I don't mean the whole entire world. I'm talking specifically when it comes to the United States of America, because not the whole entirety of the US is in support of what's going on. In fact, I've seen a lot of people on my social media saying that we need to take action and that something needs to be done about it. Man, I 100% agree with it. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it seems like it's something that they're trying to normalize. You get what I'm saying? They're trying to normalize the type of, freaky stuff that they're in with Epstein and so on and so forth. And this brings me to my video in which I am about to react to today. So this is by Shawn Ryan, right? Immediate release. I am being threatened for protecting children. This is something, I'm not gonna lie to you. This is something that I never would have guessed we would have reached, especially in people in such high, prominent position in society. If this was any ordinary Joe out there, some weirdo in their basement who is threatening him, I'd be like, oh, okay, cool. I mean, this is just some weird ass dude. But we're talking about high position, people who are lawmakers, people who decide whether or not if they want to drop a nuclear bomb on us tomorrow or not. They are the people who are now threatening, trying to sue people for protecting children. Anyway, let's go ahead and listen to what he has to say about this situation, and I'll give my commentary on it.
I need to talk to you about something serious. Last week, I received a demand letter from lawyers representing Kanakuk Ministries, a Christian summer camp in Missouri. They're threatening to sue me for defamation because of something I said on my podcast with Congressman Ro Khanna. Here's what I said. I brought Elizabeth Phillips on my show, and she talked about how Kanakuk employees have been molesting thousands of kids for years and putting them under NDAs after settlements so they can never come out and talk about their sexual abuse and trauma. Kanakuk's lawyers...
To be quite honest with you, I didn't know that they could put kids under NDAs. I mean, they're too young for one to understand what they're signing. So wouldn't it make sense to put a parent in that situation to help them understand it?
Are demanding I take down that portion of the interview, issue a public apology, and stop talking about this. They gave me 10 days. That deadline has passed. Here's my response. No.
Good.
I don't negotiate with pedophiles or the people who defend them. I'm not taking anything down. I'm not apologizing, and I'm damn sure not going to stop talking about child sexual abuse at a Christian camp that continues to operate on the same grounds where horrific abuse took place.
And it's crazy to me how it's a Christian camp, of all places.
Let me be crystal clear about the facts. Facts that Kanakuk's own lawyers admitted in their letter. 1. Pete Newman, a senior Kanakuk employee and camp director, sexually abused children at Kanakuk for multiple years in the early 2000s. He's now serving life sentences. 2.
What happened to the death penalty, man? Like, seriously, like, what happened? Like, it has become so easy in today's day and age to, like, unalive somebody. Why have we now made it so difficult to unalive pedophiles? Like, why is that, like, something that's not common? Am I tripping or something? Like, seriously, what? Let's have a public execution. There needs to be examples that are set in society saying, if you cross this line, this is what's going to happen to you. I mean, it happened in Yemen. If you haven't seen the picture, there was a man who molested a child, and there was a public execution that happened in front of everybody. He lied down, face down, and there was a soldier with an AK pointing right at the back of his head, and then boom, right there in front of everybody. America needs to have the same system. But obviously, asking these politicians to come up with a law like that is like, well, telling them, hey, come up with a law that we're going to use against you. They're not going to do it. So we have to take matters into our own hand. With the release of the Epstein file, we now see that this is a problem that is not on the surface. Rather, this goes far deeper than we can possibly imagine.
Between 20 and 30 civil lawsuits were filed against Kanakuk. 3. Multiple confidential settlement agreements were executed with victims, NDAs that prevented these kids from speaking publicly about what happened to them. Kanakuk can't prove the number is less than thousands, and given their own admission of a cover-up, the true number is unknowable. But here's what really pisses me the fuck off.
Crazy.
Kanakuk is still operating a camp at the very location where countless children suffered horrific abuse. They're still running programs. They're still bringing kids to the exact same place. And now they want to silence me for talking about it.
Okay, mommy, you also have to understand that, well, Epstein was doing whatever he was doing for years. And now when it comes to Charlie Kirk's wife, look what she did in Romania. You have to understand that the people who are making laws, the people who are allowing these things to pass, they're all in it together. It's not like it's one individual in it. No, they're all in it together. And if you pay close attention to the pattern, you will understand that the more disgusting you are, the more you will get promoted and the more you will have access to, bigger and bigger laws or whatever. Not laws, I'm sorry. Bigger and bigger facilities and bigger organizations, such as, being in position of a president, being in position of the Supreme Court, or, general in for military. It's crazy because this goes far deeper than we can imagine.
This isn't about protecting their reputation. This is about protecting children, and I will not be silenced. My attorney has sent Kanakuk's lawyers a response. We've made it clear. If they want to sue me, bring it on. We welcome discovery. We welcome depositions of Kanakuk leadership about what they knew, when they knew it, and what they did or didn't do to protect children. We welcome full disclosure of every abuse allegation, every settlement, every internal investigation, and every financial record showing whether Kanakuk actually suffered any harm from my statement, or whether this is just an attempt to intimidate people into silence. Under Tennessee law, Kanakuk will have to prove I'm lying. They'll have to prove actual malice, that I knew my statements were false, or that I had serious doubts about its truth. They can't do that because I relied on Elizabeth Phillips, whose brother was a victim. I relied on public court records, relied on widespread media coverage of Pete Newman's prosecution, and most importantly, they admit the core of what I said is true. Kanakuk employees sexually abused children.
Damn. Hey, man, he's doubling down, bro.
Victims were silenced by confidentiality agreements. That's not defamation, that's the truth. I want to say something directly to survivors. I see you. I believe you, and I will not stop fighting for you. Sexual abuse at youth camps, especially Christian camps that are supposed to be safe places, is a matter of urgent public concern. Parents have a right to know. Kids have a right to be protected, and survivors have a right to speak. Kanakuk's attempt to use legal threats to silence reporting on child sexual abuse in itself is newsworthy, and I'm going to keep reporting on it. To Kanakuk, you want to talk about callous and malicious disregard for the truth? Let's talk about operating a camp where a predator had access to thousands of children for years. Let's talk about confidentiality agreements that silenced traumatized kids. Let's talk about continuing to operate on a crime scene. You're not the victim here. The children you failed to protect are the victims.
100%.
I stand by every word I said. I will not retract. I will not apologize. And if you want to sue me, my lawyers are ready. To everyone watching, this is why I do this show. This is why we tell real stories about real people, because the truth matters, because kids matter, and because some things are more important than money or reputation. If you want to support survivors of institutional child sexual abuse, check out No More Victims, the organization Elizabeth Phillips founded. They're passing laws to protect kids and hold institutions like Kanakuk accountable. And if you're a survivor, please know it's not your fault. You deserve justice, and there are people fighting for you. I'll keep you updated as this develops, but I'm not going to be backing down.
Hell yeah.
Hey, Jeremy, what's the name of that law firm?
Hush Blackwell.
Hush Blackwell.
So yeah, I wanted you guys to hear the name of the firm that he's talking about. So before I end it off, I just want to go ahead and say something, especially to the Christians out there. I'm a Muslim. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I see a lot of comments. All right. I see a lot of Muslim videos and I read a lot of comments. And a lot of the time, I see a lot of Christians in those comments saying, oh, your prophet is a PDF file, your prophet is this, and your prophet is that. First of all, I just want to go ahead and say that you are using fallacy of presentism, okay? Because back then, you have to understand that the age of marriage was extremely low, and the entirety of society back then had no problem with it. It's only in the 21st century where people started to look at the people in the 6th century, all right, or 1400 years ago, and say, oh, you married a child, all right? So, since you guys want to be keyboard warriors and hop into the commentary of the Muslim and talk about how Muslims abuse children, here's your chance to go ahead and back Shawn Ryan, because he is now being attacked by a Christian organization because he spoke out about kids. He is now being attacked by Christian organization. So if you guys want to go ahead and pretend like you are the bastion of morals in society, you guys are the protectors of children, start looking at the president. Not the president. Well, start with the president, but start looking at Congress. Look at these people. Look what's happening when it comes to the Epstein file. Look what's happening to Shawn Ryan when he's trying to protect kids. Society has become sick. And so far, I don't think people are going to do anything about it because we've become so demoralized. Everybody is busy with their lives, and yet these people, these monsters, are just getting away with what they did. Anyways, I just want to go ahead and share that with y'all. If y'all made it this far, please don't forget to leave a like and sub.